The Trinity Shamrocks. Probably one of the best athletic programs in the state of Kentucky. And I would say their wrestling team might be the most known just because of how much dominance they've had. Our guest here today is proud to add to that Shamrock legacy. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Ben Barton, wrestled 2013 through 2016, or 2012 through 2016 right there. But yeah, glad to be back.
Yeah, we're here. Now, we're not going to give the address of your house, but we're in St. Matthews, correct?
Yeah, St.
Okay,
Matthews, next to Trinity.
Okay, and how far is Trinity from here?
It's I used to walk it every day to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before I got my driver's license.
I was going to say, you could just about run from here, like,
yeah.
Get a jog in or so. Mm-hmm. Now, you're, I think, our fourth Trinity wrestler, fifth if you're counting Coach Richard Brown's memorial. We've done Bo Hoffman, Alex Ray, Grant Ullman, and we've done Coach Richard Brown's memorial. Now, and I've got Trinity with 40 individual state champions as of this filming. This is August 2023. 40 individual. That's third place, only behind Union County and Woodford County. Trinity with 3 team state championships, 1989, 2009, and 2010. So just a phenomenal, and their football team. Come on, what we even talking about here? Just all the sports that Trinity offers. At some point, there's going to be a state championship trophy put in the case. But before we go any farther, kind of tell us. I'm not saying that you're new to the game, but you got to grow up in an era when wrestling was more prevalent. You could have more youth camps, more opportunities than some of the guys we've even met with in the mid-2000s. So how do you find wrestling?
So it was actually kind of a funny story. My oldest brother, his freshman year at high school at Trinity, he got in trouble because it was like during lunch he wasn't eating with a food tray, something small like that. Yeah. And so the wrestling coach at the time, Coach Rudolph, said either you get a detention for it, like a lunch detention, or you come out for the wrestling team. And so he got into it, and because he was my older brother, I got into it, and the rest is history from there.
That sounds like the beginning of like a 1980s cartoon. You know what I'm saying? You can either join my team or go to detention. I'll join the team, and so what age you think that would have been?
I got into it like late first grade, and then it really started off second grade. I kind of wrestled a little bit in the spring of first grade, but not really. And then second grade, I got a little, addicted to it and just kept going from there. So it's been a lot of fun. And then going to camps and stuff growing up, and
Well, the question now is, because we've met with a lot of guys from the Louisville area, from different schools, different parts of the county, and they have said that they started in like one camp, one club, and then transferred to not transfer, but like they would disband or move to another. So did you stay the whole time through Trinity? You were a Shamrock through and through, huh?
Yeah, Shamrock through and through. My dad graduated in '79, and then my brothers and I all went there 2008, 2012, and then 2016. So we're a big Trinity family from through and through. My dad, he would always go to our big rivalry against St. X.
Right.
He goes to their football game every year. He doesn't miss one. And last night we were listening to the Trinity game. So
I can understand that.
Big Trinity fans here.
So your blood is green as my last name, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So let's start off though with your. Did you get in the varsity lineup in like 7th, 8th grade, or was you just middle school? How does it work for like a program that's got as many kids as Trinity does?
So I wasn't able to wrestle in high school in 7th and 8th grade. Because I was part of Shamrock Wrestling Club. Okay. And Trinity doesn't allow it because of the private school.
I understand. Okay, that makes sense. That's why because I just didn't know. That makes a whole lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Come to think of it, I think I may have refereed you in middle school era. Maybe.
Yeah.
May have. Yeah. I know I didn't get to referee any in high school because I stay on my end of the state. But I was sitting there thinking about it. I think I may have refereed you in middle school a few times. Maybe. We'll have to file that under the maybe category. But you get to high school, you're in the varsity lineup as a freshman, 2013, 132 pounds. You make it to the state tournament. It's a learning. We either win or we learn. That's the mantra of wrestlers and anybody's in the competitive like grappling sport. You win or you learn. So you get there, 132 pounds. You don't place, but your team comes in 6th, but still respectable. 2014, 138 pounds, 3rd place. You place 3rd, and your team comes in 3rd. You run into Sean Fowles from Campbell County in the semis. He gets you with a 19-7 decision. It's hard to hang your head on that one because Sean, 2-time state champion. I think he went to NC State.
He's a blood round. I believe he was like 2-time blood rounder. He's almost an All-American for NC State.
Kentucky's had several guys get to the blood round and just come up just a smidge short. Just couldn't get over that hump.
I think he's a little bigger now in college, so it's great accomplishment. Great accomplishment.
All right, and he brings home Lexington, Kentucky's first state title here tonight. And right now, Rusty, the medal presentations for 138 pounds. Angel Vasquez getting his medal. Runner-up, great accomplishment, the Lafayette wrestler. But he just wasn't any match for Sean Fowles of Campbell County.
Yeah, and that was just, just the technique and the experience, probably more than anything, of someone who travels around all summer and getting that mat time. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it was kind of evident there.
Yeah, it was.
But doesn't take anything away from Vasquez's
and that's a great accomplishment to be.
You're a sophomore there. Going into your junior year, which is the 2015 year, what do you think was, because I love asking this question because everybody's had a different answer every time I've asked it, is what was, I guess, the mental adjustment, the decision you made to yourself coming home, driving back on 64 after you left the horse park? Okay, next year is my year. I'm not leaving until I'm a state champion. Did that happen? Did you think that occurred like after you wrestled that match in 2014 in the summer? When do you think that mindset change shifted?
So it really started changing, obviously, like going into my sophomore year. I started getting more individuals and I started to train outside like year round. I focused just on wrestling, but what really got me over the hump was I did up the level a little bit more going into my junior year in the summer of that, ending my sophomore year. But I just kind of focused on like one person that I wanted to wrestle. And like I remember one time, and I would say we're good friends. We haven't talked in a while, but Jackson Oxford, he really pushed me to get to that next level. We had wrestled when ETC was still a club. We had wrestled, and he kind of kicked my teeth in a little bit.
It happens.
Yeah, and he just got me. Like I kind of held my own, but I really didn't feel like it was like he got my number that day. So it just reminded me of it, and then it kind of flipped the switch, and I was just constantly thinking about that. And I just changed my mindset, and I tried working out as much as I could. I'd wake up in the mornings and go for runs at 6 a.m. just because I knew that I would always lie to myself and say, he's doing that. So I was like, I got to do this. I got to run extra miles, So I had that one goal in mind, that one person in my head. And I've noticed doing that as my career goes on, that's when I wrestle my best, is when I have that one person or someone I can look at that's doing better than me, or that's like kind of, I always think of it as like haunting, like someone's haunting me. I got to be able to get them off my back.
I listen, I completely understand. And I've mentioned this in other videos, and it's worth repeating in this one, is you can go, to camps. Like you were supposed to have a camp today at Atherton. We was going to kick Jack Harlow off the front steps. We've done that video and say, get out of here, Jack. This is our day. But just couldn't get that to work out. I'm sure at some point you may reschedule that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm getting at with that is you can go to the camps. You can go and get as many matches as you want. But when you can hear stories of guys that have already been there, they've already done it, and you may be in elementary school, middle school, maybe even be a senior. This may be your senior year, and you can identify with what, maybe not necessarily what you went through, but maybe somebody else on the channel that you went through, or maybe you're going through the exact situation. Maybe you placed third or fifth, sixth, whatever, and happy with it. Hey, get up an extra hour early, run a little bit, do whatever. And like, man, if Ben done it and it worked for him, maybe it'll work for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's one of the beauties about having this, and I've said it, and I think in Bruce Stepp's video, if you want to learn how to be the best ice cream maker in the world, you go surround yourself with 10 of the best ice cream makers in the world, and guess what's going to happen? You're probably going to be a good ice cream maker at some point in time. If you want to learn how to be a state champion, take advice from guys that have already been there. They've already climbed the top of the mountain, not just once, but twice in your case. So let's go through, though, your 2015 matches, and it says your record is 54-1. Okay, 54 wins is good. Tell us about the one. Everybody wants to know about the one.
The one match that I lost was at Ryle. I was in the finals beginning of the year, and it was, I can't remember the name of the school, but the kid was from Ohio. I got a little too confident in an over-under position, and the dude threw me.
Oh.
And I think he I kind of made a comeback at the end, but it wasn't enough. So yeah, I mean that was the one loss, and wanted that one back, but it's cool.
And that Raider Rumble is always kind of the first part of the year, and there's always somebody. Not always is a big word, but there's usually somebody that state champion, state place, or whatever, and they'll say, "Man, somebody at the Raider Rumble just got in my own head and got beat 4 or 5 points or whatever." So it's good though that hey, Superman can bleed. You know what I'm saying? Superman can get knocked down, and his Batman can get knocked down by the Joker, whatever the case is. But it's good to take an L early if you're going to take an L and refocus yourself. Say that is not happening again. You're going to have to haul me out of here in a hearse before I let that happen to me again. 2015, you start off your state tournament with a 31-second fall over Charles Coakley from Pike County Central. So you get in, get out, let's get it done, right? Second round, you get a major decision over Griffin Dulac from LaRue County, 21-9. So you put up a lot of points. Was it just takedown cut, or?
Yeah, that's typically what I did. I was just takedown cut.
I got you.
Yeah.
Then you mentioned your old buddy Jackson Oxford from Union County. You win that by a major decision as well, 17-8, and Jackson goes on to get third place. So was that kind of like all right, this is the quarters. You might be my buddy, but this is showtime, brother.
Yeah, so we've always kind of had I feel like a healthy competition to one another. Especially that year was the one year that we had wrestled, and it's funny because the Oxfords. Growing up, I had wrestled Chance, and Chance and I would go back and forth beating each other, right? His younger brother. And then when I got to high school, it was me and Jackson that were wrestling each other. So, and I know the Oxfords pretty well. Went down there a couple years for their camp, the big Union County camp, and stayed with them. So, wonderful family. And but we had wrestled a little bit earlier that year, and it was one of those matches. He kind of got ahead of me, and I came back and won it. And then this was also the year where we postponed state because of snow.
Yes, and I was going to talk about that. So
I feel like that might have helped a little bit.
Very, very possible. The semifinals, you are wrestling a fellow Jefferson County wrestler, Bryce Hoffman from Fern Creek, and you get a pin, 4 minutes 51 seconds over Bryce. Hey, you wrestled Bryce before?
Yeah, Bryce and I, we would wrestle in ETC all the time.
Okay.
So he was, and it was a pretty close match up until that point, and I saw my opportunity and I took it.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if the ball's on the tee, man, you got to knock that thing in the middle of the fairway. So you get to the finals. You're wrestling Andrew Ackley from Nelson County. We're not going to tell you the score. We have the video. But before we get to that, you had mentioned that this was the year state got postponed because of snow, because of the weather, and going around the state doing this, and I was officiating at the time. I'm actually at this state tournament this year, and to hear the stories, to hear what some of the teams done to stay in shape. What did Trinity do? Like, how did you guys stay focused? that you can remember?
You know, I can't remember what the whole thing was. Like, I remember Coach Rudolph pulling us in and saying it got postponed, and I just remember it was kind of like, I feel like it was just an extra hurdle to get over, right? You always have to mentally prepare for whatever it is, and so when that happened, I felt like I was ready to compete. I was ready to go, and I just kind of had to reset real quick, you know? And I think that's kind of what set me apart from a little bit more from everyone else, was just like I was able to kind of reset a little bit quicker than everyone else. So I was just ready. So it just gave me more time to. I was looking at it as a positive. Like, this gives me more time to just get better for state. So.
I understand, and I'm thinking it was like 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more than 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was well into March. I think.
Oh yeah, and the I was at work there, and the KHSAA posted like a bulletin on their webpage about state tournament wrestling, or state wrestling tournament had been postponed because of weather, and there was something to the effect of, we're seeking an appropriate date or next eligible date, and then like a couple of days later they posted when it would be, and I'm seeing the reaction on like social media, Twitter, Facebook, all the coaches like, we need to do joint practice, we need to do something to keep everybody kind of in shape. So all that time coming out of regions, like, did you like just stay on the grind of, I'm going to be the strongest, the most in shape, the best technician, or like did you have to like manage your weight a little bit different? How'd that go?
My weight was pretty good. I do remember that it's like my big thing, like I wasn't necessarily the strongest. My strategy was always like take people into deep waters.
I got you.
And kind of drown a mentality. So like I always focus on just being as mentally tough as possible. So I would do the hardest stuff, and a lot of that required me doing stuff that was like more for conditioning. So running, and because it was snow, I would make sure I would run in the snow. Cold temperatures, it was tough.
Yeah.
Working out outside, I tried doing as much as I could to where it was just hardening me mentally.
Like Rocky going to the Siberian tundra to face Drago in Rocky 4. So we're going to get our TV set, our computer and everything lined up. So we're going to get that set, go back to 2015, avoid the snowstorm. We'll see you guys there. You guys are seeing what we're seeing. We're at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, 2015, sometime up in the middle of March. Now, it's been a day or two since you've seen your 2015 state video.
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't remember other than just like the big points, but yeah, it's been a minute.
All right, well, enough talking. Let's go to it. So he comes out first time in the finals. What are we thinking?
I just had my mindset. I was thinking like what he was good in, and then what I was good in, and just like being able to focus on my strengths.
Right. And here you come running out, man, in front of the whole crowd. Everybody's cheering for you. You got a lot of family and friends in the crowd here?
Oh, yeah, a lot, yeah.
I will have to say, man, I love white final singlets. And we'll talk a little bit more about singlets and wrestling apparel later on in another video. You may know something about wrestling apparel now, right?
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that. That's called a tease in the entertainment business. So you're getting ready to put on the ankle bands here, and of course, you're green, and the other guy, Andrew's red. Sometimes you go to tournaments and they'll have somebody with a complete green singlet on red, and you're like, hey, go to track, who's running? Switch that around. Here we go. Right out of the gate, he's real aggressive. You got kind of a lower stance. What's your best then? What do you think your best takedown was?
At that time, I liked to snap down, go behind something plain. I was really counter-offensive, but it was off of me creating it. So I would go in for shots. Probably a sweep single is what I would go for here. But I was just trying to stay low because I knew he was really good with a headlock. So I was like, I'm not going to get caught in a headlock.
So you don't want to get caught under him.
Yeah. So
he's trying it right there, trying something. Now, I think, the copy is kind of messed up that we got, but we have it. So now, did I see somewhere that you led Trinity in takedowns this year?
Yes, I did. I think it was like 140 something takedowns.
And that's saying something.
This is where it's funny because my teammates would always give me grief, especially Keegan would always give me grief because in big matches I would get taken down first, and then I would always come back and start taking people down.
So there it is, 2.
Yeah.
So you got taken down, but there's no panic.
No, I've been here before. I'm not worried about it. I was always like, especially at national tournaments, I would always try to be like, or not try to be. I just.
All right, so you get your 1. We're neutral.
I would end up being like coming back in matches. So that's where I would like. It's kind of like I didn't do this on purpose. It just happened to be like that sometimes. Guys would get a takedown. I'd get away. They feel comfortable, and then, I'd come back and kind of drag them into deep waters.
All right, so that was a quick first period. Of course, there was no stoppage either, but man, that was fast. So he defers. Is down just a automatic.
Yeah, free point.
Yeah, absolutely. Had you wrestled Andrew before?
No, I never
Okay.
wrestled. I think actually in sometime in elementary school we wrestled, but that was way before. I think it was part of Cobra or something like that.
I got you. No, that's there it is. So you get the reversal there, and not trying to hijack but so many people nowadays are trying these gimmick takedowns, these gimmick reversals instead of just good fundamental takedowns. Learn good fundamentals, then add gimmicks on top of that. So he gets his 1. I believe we're 3-3 now, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember hearing the crowd, anybody yelling at you, anything like that?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
It's out of bounds, a little OB.
I just remember. I don't remember being worried at all.
So he gets a caution. So you shoot in there on a deep single, trying to pull it in. Coming out the back door. Turn in, maybe. There it is. 2.
It's that's when I felt right there. Now it's kind of coming back to me. I kind of got the extra wind in my sails.
Notice how Barton's on his toes on top, really making actually ride his weight.
That voice you're hearing is Coach Rusty Parks, longtime coach at Woodford County. So, and he's really good about picking up on little small techniques like that. So, remember, kids, stay on your toes, not on your knees when you wrestle. Make them carry your weight, right? Now, on top, okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. His choice, he's going to take down on top. We kind of saw a little bit, but from a breakdown standpoint, are we looking to do what? What's your favorite? Or go-to ride, breakdown?
I was always a wrist ride kind of a guy, but mainly I would turn guys, but it was normally I just wanted to get on my feet.
And you laid him up right there. So it's 5-4. Was that something you had already decided, or coach looked at you and said, let him up, or?
Well, I think Coach Rudolph and everyone had a lot of faith in my judgment at the time, so I would look over the corner and I'd let them know, and they normally give me the nod for it. But right there, when right at the end of it, I had that near wrist, and I didn't like how it felt, so I was I'd rather go back on my feet, get another takedown, and then go back to riding.
I understand. And, you're a junior in the state finals. You know what you're doing. You know what got you to the dance. There's no sense in changing up what you do. So if you felt more comfortable letting him up, then absolutely. There he goes back for the head, like you mentioned that. Man, he's
normally good with just like a head and arm.
Mhm.
That was his big thing. I saw he got a couple people with that at the state tournament. So I just wanted to stay low. I was cool with just being in front headlocks. I was pretty comfortable with my defense, my counter offense.
So you get a takedown right there. So I think that's Jim Harden. I see him counting, but I'm not sure exactly what he was counting there. All right, we're out of bounds. Go back to the center. If you hear a bell chime, there's a cathedral right over here. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
So
church over there.
It's good ambiance. It's like the Undertaker coming out or something here. That's what it sounds like.
But yeah, I'm just digging for that near wrist. I like the near wrist.
So you cut him. He didn't escape. You cut him. That was a cut.
Mm-hmm.
35 seconds to go.
You know you're up. You know there's short time. Or we just, I guess they call it gunslinger, just trying to keep yourself from getting big move, 5-point move, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking at it too. Is like I'm in the driver's seat, so like whatever he does or whatever he gives me, like I'm gonna, if there's opportunity, or there's more opportunity when you're in the driver's seat kind of thing. So I felt good.
And you get another takedown there to kind of cap it off. You look back at the clock. And there it is, man.
Yeah.
Wrestled good. I mean, you wrestled like a champion.
And stuck to my game plan, staying low, getting to my singles.
And like I said, this is when we got the copy from the KHSAA. The copy they had was just like what you're seeing. So if there's a glitch, it's now come over, shake coach's hand.
Yeah, and then
Go over and sign the bout sheet. And then I left this part right here in. It cuts, but I wanted to leave this part in. Teammates coming over.
yeah, it's Keegan and I were always working out together. We were always learning stuff. He was a big part of my growth.
Mm-hmm. And you got to have good teammates, man. You just can't wrestling, even though it's individual. You can't be a one-man show. This is, of course, the medal ceremony. I believe that's Connor. That's Coach Padilla. Got a lot of respect for Coach Padilla from Connor.
Yeah, I wrestled. He was actually, I think he was my first match in high school ever.
Oh, really?
Like, my very first one.
2.5 weeks is what the announcers are telling us. So, still though, man, 2.5 weeks in a wrestling season is a long time.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah, and I had some tough matches with a lot of these guys here. I wrestled just about everyone that's on there.
Really?
Yeah. Along within the tournament, I feel like, too.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 on the podium there.
I wrestled,
There's Jackson.
Jackson, Bryce.
And there you are, man, getting your medal. Much deserved. On top.
Yeah, it was cool, but it didn't feel like it was like something, you always build up in your head that you want to be a state champion, and then it's like you're there and you're just like, okay, what next? You know, it's like, all right, I guess I got to work to get another one.
Yeah.
And I think we started working out literally like within the next week. Like we started getting it after it.
But I mean, to that, I mean, this was on like a Tuesday, Wednesday. The crowd was probably not even an eighth of what it normally would be. I mean, when it's Friday, Saturday at the dungeon, especially, then went to the horse park, and now we're back at the horse park. Man, those Friday, Saturdays, you can just feel this is big. This is an event. This is someplace that you want to be. So watching it back, does it play out the way you remember it?
Yeah, a little bit. Like it kind of reminded me of a few feelings, or it gave me those feelings again. And it was a lot of fun. It was a good year for me.
And of course, you're just a junior. Now we're gonna put a button on this one, wrap it up. We are going to go to 2016 to watch you win your second state championship. So we will see you guys in 2016.